Hey gang, welcome back to Explora Archiva, the show in which we review all the major archaeological and technological advancements of the year. From the future to the past, live fast and eat. Well anyway, this is a pretty uneventful year, all things considered, so there won't be a whole lot to cover. Let's get this show on the road. In early spring, Michael Gibbons and his team were investigating an area around Clew Bay in Western Ireland when they spotted something covered in seaweed between them and Collinmore Island. Upon closer inspection, they discovered it to be the limestone ramparts of an ancient fortress, dating as far back as the Bronze Age, about 1000 BC. It's suspected that this structure might have served as a defensive bridge of sorts, creating a fortified position which controlled the access to the island. With the sheer scale of the rampart stretching from 200 to 300 meters, it really shows just how intense the tribal conflicts in the area might have been. Later, Elon Musk's Neuralink made their first successful microchip implant into a human brain, dooming V to a brief lifetime of Keanu Reeves hallucinations telling them to blow up Arasaka Industries. Jokes aside, the intended brain-computer interface program hopes to repair brain damage, and possibly through the Blindside program, restore vision to those who have impairment through the visual cortex's communication with the brain. The next big discovery took place in summer, namely an ancient Roman buckies known as a mutatio, which is essentially an ancient Roman service station. They were once quite common and constructed for the cursus publicus, a sort of Roman FedEx courier service which operated the massive roadways that logistically fueled the Roman war machine across much of Europe and the Mediterranean. This Senatus 711 Kia Romanus was found in Cotswold, England, while constructing a soccer field, and yielded the discovery of a blacksmith forge, bridles, hippo sandals, a sort of proto-horseshoe, including evidence of cooking stations. It's likely the buildings were used as stables where travelers could swap out for fresh horses or get spare tires with a big gulp and a pack of Skittles. There were also plenty of trinkets and coins that went far back as Emperor Nero, and if some reports are to be believed, some artifacts went as far back as over 12,000 years. Around the same time, a joint Japanese and Egyptian archaeological team were building sandcastles near the cemetery just west of the Giza pyramids, and their GPR, or ground penetrating radar, picked up something quite big, only a couple meters below the surface. Now, things being buried in Egypt is hardly unusual. It's kind of their whole cultural identity at this point. But what sets it apart from what is likely a burial chamber is a lack of something called a mastabas. These above-ground brick structures serve as a sort of crypt entrance, something which provides both a support and a stairway down into the below chamber. It has a L-like shape, stretching approximately 10 meters in length. It's largely filled with sand, as if backfilled, but currently that's about all we know about it. Other than the cover-up in which Pharaoh Akhenaten made a dark pact with reptilian overlords from beyond the Black Sun to share their blood and give him eternal life while he rests until the promised time, in which they return to tear our souls from our feeble corporeal forms as the universe itself collapses into an all-consuming, suffocating groan! Or is just the entrance to a tomb for a lesser-known priest that collapsed before completion. You know, who knows. In Liang Karimpoeng Cave of East Indonesia, researchers believe they may have found the oldest cave painting in existence, dating as far back as 51,200 years. It seems to depict three people with what is likely some kind of pig. Very nice, let's put that on the fridge. In terms of media, we got Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, the show of all time, on Netflix. The most painfully average thing I've seen in quite a while, honestly. But hey, at least it didn't totally suck. Go check out the journal entry video if you want more details. There was the unnecessary sequel to the Gladiator film that nobody asked for. Good for some dramatic and cool action scenes, but not a whole lot else, since it's kind of a dead concept on arrival. You get it? Because in the original incident, all the rebels were executed, effectively ending the possibility of a logical continuation.
They're all dead. Everybody's dead, Dave.
We also received Indiana Jones and the dumbest game title they could have possibly come up with, produced by Bethesda and Machine Games. Despite the rainbow, or well, red, flags leading up to its release, it ended up being a decent game, all things considered. A strange choice to make a first-person game in a franchise that eats, sleeps, and breathes booby traps and ambushes without any peripheral vision. But it's not like Bethesda knows how to make, well, literally anything else. It really goes to show that the game and movie industry's continuous abuse of legacy franchises have resulted in waning interest, to the point that even a serviceable product is outright ignored because of the abysmally low expectations brought on by a decade of soulless cash grabs, nostalgia pandering, and cringy DEI writing. And that's all I got, folks. Yeah, I know, an Explora Archiva video a week late of New Year's. But can you believe it? We finally made it to 1,000 subscribers. And I owe it all to you guys, and you alone are probably the only reason I'm still limping along with this channel. Amazing considering how busy I've been during 2024. And this year is bound to be equally hectic as I prepare for another upcoming trip across Oceania and Australia. but hopefully I can manage to crank out some more content for you guys in the coming year, preferably with more interesting things to talk about come Explora 2025. But until that time, farewell.